Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, April 16th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll note it continues to march higher in a very clean market structure here. For the most part, that means for the most part it continues to build higher and higher ranges above the previous range highs and continues to do so. Now we're up here at this upper zone here where we've found a little bit of resistance in the previous day and pulled back, but we still have a rising 8 period here that if it were to pull back as deep as say 2700, it could still be a buying opportunity for a continuation. Even as low as 2630, the top of this previous range where it broke out, could still be a buying opportunity for a continuation higher. If not to 2800, then perhaps even through it to 2900. So right now this market remains bullish until proven otherwise, at least in the medium term here. We see a very narrow range that is developing here on a 4-day range period. 1, 2, 3, 4, the previous 4. We have compression already. If we were to look at a developing 5-day range, it would have compression as well. So again, we're building that energy just like we did back here when we built a very narrow range and got explosive movement. We're building that same compression right now for the next key move. If it is to the downside, again, a violation through 2745 and especially 2700 would open up quite a bit of downside. Below 2630 would open up a bit more into 2424. So again, those are the kind of the key levels to continue to watch here for the ES, but we are seeing very clear compression and expansion could be soon. Given the directional conviction, if we were to say break down first and reject, that could be a great buying opportunity for a continuation higher for a shot at 2900. Alright, let's take a look now at the NQ. You'll see right here the NQ is also continuing higher. It is channeling higher for the most part. You can see again ranges being developed at higher and higher price levels. This one, the price levels, the ranges are getting smaller and smaller though as we've gone up. The range right now is a 3-day range that's developed here. We had a huge blow off day here where we pushed to the highs, and then the previous day was a digestive day in the upper half of the day's range. And right now we're trading very similar. We are inside that range here, and again, if we were to break down first and fail, say we were to hit 8400 and then bounce back toward 85, 8600, that could be a great buying opportunity for another push higher into say 8900 above. So it's going to be very similar to a failed low here and seeing a push higher here, or say some sort of pullback that leads to the next push to new highs. So again, even if this market were to pull back right now, it could still be supported by bulls until proven otherwise. And right now 8K is that level where it really needs to fall below for bears to really start getting paid meaningfully, because we could drop as deep as 8K and still be a buying opportunity higher as of right now. Alright, let's take a look here at crude oil. Now over here in crude oil, we had a test below the previous month's low. We had 1927 as the low here, and then we have a low now of 1920 that hit yesterday. We've bounced off that low and have been compressing ever since. We are still inside the previous session's range and compressing. The key level to continue to watch is 2052. 2052 is this key range low here, and that's basically today's high, right? The overnight high. It's right on that level right there, 2052. Last time we sat at that zone for 3 days, and then we saw an incredible rally off that area. So right now we are still seeing compression. Overall, this market is building kind of a rounded bottom here over the last 3 days on the intraday time frame, but it needs to get through 52s. That's 2052 in order to squeeze to the next target above. If it can squeeze above here, it'll put you back toward 2451 as the target. I'm going to take this one off and reapply it later. And so right now, any failure to hold 19s, that will start to open up the key range targets below. 1652 or 1650 would be the next key range target below right there, 1653, and then you have a 25% expansion at 1852. So 1852 and 1653 would be the next key levels down if this were to break. But right now, again, it appears that bigger hands here are trying to keep this thing bid off the $20 level, and if so, we may get a bounce back toward 24.50 and perhaps as high as 28.5, as has been the range this entire time. Okay, let's take a look now at gold futures. You'll see with gold we've had a very, very bullish advance as well. In many respects, it looks very similar to the NQ or the ES, where it's built higher and higher ranges this entire time. We have seen a continuation. We mentioned this pullback here into the pivot range could lead to a move higher into 1767. We got it. And now we are seeing any pullback that could be as deep as 1700 could still be a buy for a continuation toward 1800 to 1830 would be the next upside targets here. So right now we are looking to see how this plays out here, but for the most part you see a bit of a rejection here, and you're seeing a developing failed high that's occurring right at the moment. The 16-minute chart, 60-minute chart, 15-minute chart, all showing quite a pullback. 1 minute, all in the short time frame here. So again, if that starts to develop into a failed high, that could lead to a bit of a pullback into, say, as low as 1700 to 1705, and if that occurs, there could be a buying opportunity to 1800 ahead. So right now, that's the short-term and potential swing directional conviction coming up. If we go down, it could be a great buy back up. So right now, keep an eye on the previous session's high price here. Previous session's high is 1760, and if there's a failure to reestablish back above that zone, that could suggest more near-term weakness ahead. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well. Take care.